Hey, hi, hello, and welcome to my beauty industry enthusiasts, content creators, and brand visionaries. Get ready to step into a world where beauty meets business, where the creator economy blends seamlessly with strategy. I'm Sonia, and this is Lip Service, the podcast. We're about to redefine the way that you think about the beauty industry. From the boardroom to the makeup room, we're leaving no stone unturned. Lip Service is your backstage pass to the beauty industry's best kept secrets. Now take out your notebook, fill up your emotional support water bottle, and swipe on your favorite lip gloss. Let's get into the episode. Welcome back to Lip Service, the podcast. Today I am joined by an incredible entrepreneur, Kaylee Lefferts. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm well. She is the founder of an incredible company. We are going to dive into everything Blanka in just a second because you guys are going to die when you hear this concept, and all of you are going to be rushing to her inbox to chit chat. I know it. But before we dive in, we always ask our guests, what's on your face today?
Ooh, I love that question. Okay, so I have like quite an in-depth skincare routine. So
Lovely.
I'll try and keep it quick, but in the morning I always exfoliate, then I do my cleanser, and then I do a ceramide, hyaluronic acid. I do vitamin C right now for some of my dark spots, and
Hmm.
then I do sunscreen. And then for my makeup, I have a bronzer on, mascara, and some lip gloss. And all of my stuff is from Blanka.
Love it. Okay, good. Good plug. I'm into it. All right. The next question is, if tomorrow you were to head to your version of the afterlife, you're no longer on the earthly plane, what one product do you take with you?
Ooh, great question. Is this like a CPG product that we're talking about, like beauty?
You can literally take anything.
Okay, if I could take anything, I'm bringing my water bottle with me. I don't go anywhere without it. It's like the Hydro Flask keeps everything cold. And so no matter where
Mhm.
I'm going, if I need cold beverages or hot beverages, I have it with my water bottle. Is that a
I
weird
love it.
answer?
She's a hydrated queen. No, I mean, if you truly can't imagine parting with it, then I get
I
it.
can't.
So good. All right. And then lastly, I always ask, where are you finding creativity and inspiration right now? Is there something that's sort of helping you like feel that spark?
I am finding that spark in actually slowing down. I have
Mm.
this very innate need to overwork myself. I think it comes from like my corporate starting or corporate background of where I started my career. I have
Hmm.
learned to pause and actually take weekends off. And that's where I'm getting a lot of my best thinking done and ideating. And I'm taking my first vacation that I have in many years in a few weeks. And I can't wait because I think that'll be an amazing time for me to just pause and reset.
Fantastic. Yes. Travel. I think a few people on the podcast have mentioned travel, getting away, shutting off. So you're not alone. And congratulations. Where are you traveling to? What are you doing?
I'm heading to Bali. I'm so excited. Yeah,
Cool.
I've never been, but my bestie lives there, just built a place there, so I have accommodation, and then I'm taking off on my own little wellness retreat as well. So I'll be there for 2 weeks, and I absolutely cannot wait.
So cool. I have also never done the Bali route, but I have a girlfriend who's deep into wellness and fitness, and she used to teach there very frequently. So exciting.
Can't
All right.
wait.
Well, let's get into the episode, shall we? So, we are here with Kaylee, the founder of Blanka. And in a sentence, in a nutshell, this is their one liner: create a private label makeup brand in minutes. I feel like it's so enticing. It's every content creator's dream, every beauty lover's dream. Can you walk us through layman's version? What is Blanka?
Absolutely. I mean, you summed it up very well. Essentially, we have taken the concept of building a beauty line and all the pain that historically has gone into it, from sourcing from the thousands of suppliers that you could find on Google to ordering samples and making sure that they're FDA and Health Canada compliant, to investing in inventory. All of those pieces of the beauty journey are really challenging. I know because I
Mm-hmm.
tried it myself. And we wanted to remove all of those roadblocks to launching beauty brands. And so, in simple terms, Blanka is a tech platform and we make it super easy. Anybody can come on, create an account, and instantly have access to hundreds and hundreds of super high quality beauty SKUs. So everything from makeup to skincare to men's. We're launching hair care in a couple of weeks. So pretty much
Wow.
everything in the beauty umbrella. And you can simply just scroll through the products. And with a really easy upload feature, you can upload a logo and see what the logo looks like on all the products because it gets rendered automatically right in front of you. And then with
Mm-hmm.
a click of a button, you can sell it on an online store, be it your TikTok or your Shopify, or maybe you want to order product to a brick and mortar store. And when you get orders, we take care of all the fulfillment. And so you never have to hold inventory if you don't want to. And we have no minimums at all, meaning that somebody could sell one unit of a branded product and they're not going to get hit with a bunch of fees. So that's kind of, broken out a little bit more how it works.
Wow. Wow. So amazing. And this is going through both the app and the platform or just the app?
They're the same thing. So great
Okay.
question. I use the term app and platform interchangeably. I probably shouldn't, but essentially Blanka's website, you go on and click on sign up and it launches
Uh-huh.
our app, aka platform, where you can
Okay.
do all of this in one easy to use spot.
Amazing. Okay. And primarily right now you're targeting creators, right? Of all types, right? They don't have to be beauty content creators, but people who want to create a product in this niche, like you mentioned, skincare, body care. There's other things happening in beauty. Does that tend to be like the number one person that you're finding is using your technology?
You know what? It's not the number one user. It's definitely one of our focuses, but I
Mm-hmm.
think um, the number one user, which might come as a surprise, are just people like you and me. They're
Mm-hmm.
entrepreneurial minded individuals who've always wanted to start a business but didn't even know where to start. And so they come to Blanka and we kind of take care of everything for them so they can just focus on the fun part, which is like the marketing and the sales and the content creation. And
Mm-hmm.
so that's probably our number one use case. Creators and influencers naturally also are a use case just because we enable them to monetize their following in a lot of ways. We also work with makeup artists, beauty professionals, and we also work with existing brands. So think a boutique that maybe wants to create a beauty
Mm,
line or even an apparel company that wants to test out a beauty extension. And so there's a few different use cases. And I think, when you step back, really the core of what we're building is a platform that enables entrepreneurship. And so there's a lot of shapes and forms of that.
yeah. Wow. So it's really so flexible, which is really exciting, I'm sure, for anyone who goes on. Would you recommend, like, for someone, let's say I'm the use case and I go on, it's clearly going to be like very overwhelming for me, right? You're talking like body products, future hair care, makeup, skincare, like there's so many things. How would you recommend someone who's interested in this decides what avenue to start to go down?
Absolutely. It's a great question. Okay, so there's a few schools of thought here. The first is that just functionally speaking, we have the option to order samples. And so you could try absolutely everything if you wanted
Hmm.
to. That being said, we've really seen the most successful brands actually start smaller. So they start with
Mm,
between 3 to 5 SKUs and they build a true narrative around those SKUs. So I'll give you an example. We had an entrepreneur come to us and she wanted to start something from scratch. She didn't have a lot of experience, but she was really passionate about athletics and sports and lived a very active lifestyle herself. And she wanted to start a makeup line that was, easily packed into her gym bag after a workout. And so she just chose a few really simple SKUs, a couple foundations, a couple eye products, and built an entire business that she's actually now going through an acquisition on. And so it was really more about like the narrative and telling
hmm
that story around why these products were chosen. I think
hmm
like the final piece that's so critical, right, is like really high quality, amazing products. And like for us, that's table stakes. Like we've got that down,
Sure.
locked and loaded. So yeah,
hmm
that's kind of like what we think about and what we see really commonalities between like the most successful brands.
Got it. Very interesting. And with someone who like maybe doesn't have experience, then there's also people who have tons of experience, right? You're talking about makeup artists, et cetera. So could you talk a little bit about like how the formulations come about and the options people have for customization? Because I know, especially if you're deep in the beauty world, a lot of people, I don't want to say like look down upon, but there is talk that like, oh, if you buy the white label version, which is a version that has already been created in the lab for somebody else that's for sale for everyone, which is some of the options that people have through your platform, that it's not as prestigious, but you offer other opportunities to customize, right?
Totally. Okay. So, I mean, I think just on the private label piece itself, I I think that there's not a ton of education around private labels. So sometimes people think it's like, more the entry level piece. But if you walk
Mm-hmm.
through Sephora, 10% of the products on Sephora shelves are private labels. In fact, I'd argue sometimes private label is the better route because these are formulas that have been tried and true. They
Mm,
are clearly like what's the chosen private label formula for a reason is because they are liked by a lot of different people. They have all the testing done from stability to microbial, like everything is ready to go for these private label formulas. And so I really stand behind our private label. And I think like it's very common in a lot of other industries. If you think about like going to Costco and buying the Kirkland brand, it's oftentimes like better than some of the other shelf formulas.
so true. I love that
But
reference.
but that being said, there are people who come to us and they have a really particular vision for what they want to launch.
Hmm.
And in that circumstance, they might not fit in private label. They might be better suited for something more custom. So that's what we call custom formulation or Blanka Labs. And so we absolutely have that opportunity and that offering as well for brands if they want to do a custom formula. I think what's really beautiful about what we've built at Blanka is like, because we do private label and custom formulation, we truly understand like the full end-to-end life cycle of a brand. But B, we're really thinking about custom formulation differently. We are super hands-on on the process. So the quality is incredible, but we can do it at really low minimums, which I think is really interesting compared to the rest of the industry.
Definitely. I mean, I would say two areas that, like, when you're deep in the industry, like I am, and you're going to kind of some of the conferences and things where people are talking about formulation and product development and, different behind the scenes things before it makes it to marketing, there's two main things that are always talked about. And one is patenting your formulation. So expensive. So expensive, which is why, you
Yes.
speaking to white label is not lesser than is very important because I don't think that's communicated well in the space. And then number two is that quantities. When you're doing it on your own and you have to order a certain amount of quantities, like it can be insane how many you have to order up front. So you're really solving both of those areas that I hear a lot of people talk about, like frustration in this industry.
Yeah, yeah. And I think that's like what it kind of comes back to is like I experienced that frustration. I tried to start a brand. And so
Hmm.
that's like we're trying to get back to the root cause of what these frustrations and challenges are and solve them with tech.
Yeah. Interesting. So cool. So tell us a little bit about like some of the, I guess, case studies generally, but like tell us some of the people who have come, generally speaking, to you and what they launch and some of like your favorite projects so far.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think the athlete example that I shared is one that I love, especially
Hmm.
because she's now going through an acquisition of her brand and it's purely based on Blanka products. And I think it's just a testament to the business that she's built.
Yeah.
There's some really interesting celebrity brands that we're working with right now. There's a couple actually that are like more older women
Mm,
building skincare for that demographic, which I think is like
love.
a very much an untapped demographic. Like
Sure.
I was talking to somebody on a call recently and they're like, it feels like once you hit kind of 45, you're just forgotten about and there isn't product made for you. And I never thought about it that way because like, I'm in my 30s, and so I just haven't looked ahead to what that looks like, and so it's really cool that we're able to support like filling these voids and bringing
Hmm.
some of those ideas to life. So I'm really excited about that. And we're also working with a really amazing med spa to do
Oh,
like
cool.
a post treatment balm for a lot of their clientele, and they have locations all over North America, and so I think what's been really cool, like if you zoom out, is like the variety that we get to work on
Yeah.
and being able to be like, wow, we brought this product to market. Like that's amazing. And we're supporting, again, like these entrepreneurial endeavors. So I think those are like just a few kind of like snippets of
Hmm.
some of the examples, but definitely a lot of shapes and forms, and different types of people come to us asking for help.
Wow. And when they're asking for that help, do you guys really just stay narrowed in on the product? Or if they're saying, like, how do I market this? What about influencer marketing? What about my website? What other areas of the business do you touch or help with?
Yeah, so our vision is to really be the platform that builds world-class brands. And oftentimes when a client comes to us, they trust us to support a lot of different areas of their business. So sometimes they'll come to us and they won't have a website or they won't have a logo. And
Hmm.
so, putting on my CEO hat, I think there's only so much that we can do as a business without like spreading ourselves too thin and losing focus on what we're really good at. So for us, we're really good at like product procurement, manufacturing, fulfillment, like the back end ops.
Hmm.
But what we've done a really good job of is building incredible partnerships and relationships with different agencies and subject matter experts so that we can pull them in where needed. And
Yeah.
so we're working with a pretty well known music producer right now. And they, similar scenario, don't really have an online presence at all.
Hmm.
And so we're helping them build out their brand identity, their website, but we're working with agency partners along the way to do that because, we want to make sure we're giving them the best support possible. So
Sure.
that's how we think about it, but we can definitely fill the gap where needed.
Wow. Yeah. So truly full service. If they come to you, you can help them with anything in terms of getting this off the ground, which is, I'm sure, a huge relief for people who are trying something so bold, I would say, because it is a difficult journey. But you are taking a lot of the guesswork out of it, which is nice.
Totally. Yeah. I think that's like the piece of it. It's like starting a business is really scary and often it can
Yeah.
feel very lonely. And so how can we kind of help and be, an extension of their team in a lot of ways, a partner?
Yeah, definitely. And when it comes to somebody who is a creator who wants to be doing this, let's say one of our listeners right now, is there a follower count? Is there an engagement rate? Is there like a level of where you think that they should be to dive into something like this? Or what have you seen be successful in the past?
Honestly, I don't think that there's like a certain number. I think what's so cool is that actually oftentimes the creators with lower follower counts do better. And the reason why is that they have such a strong relationship with their audiences, and it's a lot more curated content. This is a bit of an extreme example, but there's a bunch of data out there about like Mr. Beast and like his performance when he
Hmm.
posts, right? Because he'll
Yeah.
post for a brand, but like his posts are more like broadcasts. They're going to get everyone from like my dad who follows him to like my little brother who follows him to, a colleague.
Hmm.
So it's not as curated as, your listeners who probably maybe have, under 10, maybe under 5,000 followers, but they know their followers super well. And those are the ones who
Yeah.
are engaging, loyal to them, believing in the product. And so for me, I'm way more bullish on like the up and comers than like the big
Hmm.
broadcasters.
Yeah, for sure. And I think with a business model like yours, if someone's going through yours, there's a little bit less of the pressure monetarily to have it perform, right? Or like at some sort of gangbusters level. Like we talked about, a lot of places have minimums. And if they're saying, like, okay, you want to sell this lip gloss, well, you have to order 10,000 of them and you only have 4,000 followers, then you're like, okay, how am I going to sell 10,000 of these? Whereas if you're saying, you have 4,000 followers, well, I think you probably know 2,000 of them very well. If you sold them each one product, that would be this amount of money that you make.
Totally.
That's it.
Yeah. No, you're totally right. And like with us having no minimums, it's a very
Hmm.
low risk endeavor. And like there's cool ways to structure these launches because some people are like, oh, well, like what if I only sell, 100 units or I'm scared it's a failure? Well, then like why not structure it in a way that it's like it's not just do a drop. You're like, I'm just dropping this lip
Yeah.
gloss, I'm only dropping a certain number of units, it's a limited offering. And that's a good way to like test out, is your following engaged enough to like make this, a long-term initiative. But we can facilitate that too. And I think that's a really great way for creators just to test the waters.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's a great way for people to be like, what can I even do? And if you're a creator listening who's like, oh, I want a case study for brands, if you show that you can sell this, like it shows that you can sell their product. So it does work towards like your overall presence as a content creator that you were able to do X, Y, and Z. So it's not just, you building in a silo, but it's also a build for your brand as a whole online.
Yeah, I actually really like that point. I've never thought about it from that lens, but you're just like building your entire portfolio, whether you're building your own products to sell or like eventually like, pitching to other brands
Yeah.
who are going to hire you to promote for them.
Exactly, exactly. Well, let's talk about like it from an industry standpoint. Right now, let's say just in 2024, like things that have already launched through you guys and things that are coming down the pipeline. What's trending? Like where are you seeing people spend their time in terms of products?
Yeah, for sure. So, I mean, in terms of what we have on our platform right now, like makeup and skincare are always going to crush it. Specifically in makeup, what's really trending is like the lip glosses. I think are having like a massive
Yeah.
comeback. Not a comeback, like they've always been popular, but like
Yeah,
lip glosses are outpacing lipsticks. I'd say. I mean, you put on your gloss right
I
before
know.
this, and it looks so good.
Thank
And
you. In beauty products, in beauty projects, I love them so much.
I love that. I was just 3 weeks ago now, trying out a ton of like new makeup and like the
Hmm.
gloss look is really popular, but now like the blur look is becoming more popular, which is an interesting
Yes.
one. Yeah.
Hmm.
And then of course, like skincare, I think on our platform is always going to crush it. And not just for women, but we have a men's selection as well. And the men care products are really like, picking up pace, I would say, just because there's more dialogue around having a good skincare routine. We
Yeah.
also have these solid state colognes and solid state fragrances.
Hmm.
And those have been really popular because they're alcohol free, they're vegan, and they're really travel friendly. And then another thing that we're really excited about is like hair care. Scalp care is so big right now. And so
Hmm.
different oils and scalp massages are things that we're looking to launch in the next few weeks. And so I'd say like those are kind of like the big three pieces that we're really excited about.
Hmm.
We have a few other secret plans coming in the fall as well. So more to come on
Amazing.
that. But for us, we're constantly innovating on products and we're constantly dropping new SKUs. And so there's a lot of innovation happening on our end.
Wow. Yeah, I just saw one of my friends who's also on the production side of things posting some stuff about lip blurring coming down the pipeline. And I was like, oh, this is like a whole new thing. So yeah, it's always interesting to see what everyone is selecting versus what are people buying and what is going to be like the future as well. So really interesting in that perspective. And when you say were, like, what does the team look like? Like, how many people are working with you directly? And then I'm sure you have like tons of people, product development side, lab side, like really formulating.
Yeah, we have an incredible team. So our core team is about 18 people. And to your
Mm-hmm.
point, it's spread between we have a tech team and then operations and then like production, I'd say, are kind of the
Mm-hmm.
core functions. We are all, for the most part, based in Vancouver. We have a
Mm-hmm.
few other remote team members, but being in Vancouver is really great for a few reasons. First of all, we follow Health Canada regulations, which
Okay.
are some of the strictest in the world. So by complying with Health Canada, we auto comply with FDA. So that's one
Mm-hmm.
big thing. The other piece is like we're right on the border, and so we do a lot of shipping out of Canada, but we plug it right into the USPS system from Vancouver, so everything is delivered within like about 3 days on average. So super speedy delivery. But for us, like when I kind of think at a more broad perspective of our team, like our team is the reason we've been so successful. I'm so proud of our culture. We have a lot of fun. We work freaking hard,
Mm-hmm.
but we have a lot of fun together as well. And I think like our culture kind of speaks for itself on like the way people post about the company or even our Glassdoor reviews. And so,
Hmm.
yeah, definitely I am just one very small piece of a much larger, very smart, very capable team.
It's great. That's so nice to hear. And just really exciting when you have a good team that you're excited to grow with. So very happy to hear it. And from like a business perspective, if I was going to get started, what does the pricing look like? Do I pay a fee? Do I pay a fee per item that's sold? Like what's everything that's I can expect?
So there's three fees involved, let's say. The first is a monthly fee. So we charge a really nominal fee. It starts at $39 for anybody to access our platform. And through that, you have access to all the SKUs, all the branding, and all the fulfillment. The second fee is essentially you pay us per product that you sell. But you charge we charge a flat fee. So for example, our lip glosses are $6, I think. And then you can price that any way you want. We don't have any impact on the way you're pricing, and we don't take like a commission off your sale or anything. You're just paying us the
Mm-hmm.
$6, and you keep whatever profit you make in between that and the sales price. I think that's a really big differentiator. Some platforms out there take ownership or equity or a cut on sales, and we don't touch that. And then the final thing is that we just charge a one-time fee. Once a brand has gotten started and has started branding products, we charge something called a brand plate fee. It's really just to create a plate to print logos onto products. And so we say you can get started for under $200 and you can get started in a day. It's super easy. We keep the cost low because we want the barrier to entry to be low so that people can get going on their entrepreneurial journey.
Hmm. That's great, honestly. I mean, like, I'm tempted. I feel like I want a product, but I don't. I do, but I don't. I don't need another thing on my plate. Let me tell you, I want to do it justice one day when I really do it. And I think people forget how much time you have to spend really marketing something and talking about it and getting it out there. And it's not impossible to do when you have a small following, but it is still a lot of work no matter what. So you really have to have that time and space available in your schedule to like dedicate to selling it if you really want to make profits.
It's a
Um,
business. It
yeah,
needs love and nurturing. It's not just going to happen just because we've created the infrastructure. Like there's still work that has to go into promoting and building the
absolutely.
business.
Yeah. And where do you see the future of your business going? Just like more product categories, more, launches, of course. I'm sure like onboarding new clients all the time, but is there anything that you're like really excited to launch or a place that you're like, I'm looking at this, but who knows if we'll go there or not?
I think for us, we remain very focused on the core mission, which is building world class brands. I
Mm-hmm.
think, for us right now, that remains beauty. And I truly think it always will. There's so much opportunity in beauty and personal care. And we really
Mm-hmm.
want to own that space. That
Yeah.
being said, beauty and personal care can mean a lot of different things. And so we're going to continually expand within kind of that segment and own that. And then the other piece is like, just working with larger and larger brands over time. I want the future Kylie Jenners built on Blanka, and we are definitely on the right path to getting there. And so I think that's what the next couple of years looks like for us.
That's amazing. Yeah, I think that's a huge play for people with a big following, of course, or celebrity status. It's a great way to get into the beauty business, 100%. Well, thank you so much for joining me today. I think that the business that you've built is so interesting, and I really hope a bunch of people reach out. We will, of course, drop all of the info for Blanka in the show notes so that you can reach out either to Kaylee directly. And I think we're going to do a little giveaway. We're going to work on the details and let you guys know, but hopefully giving you access to Blanka at a little bit of a discount if you are a listener. So, stay tuned for that and make sure to be following us on at Lip Service World to get those details. And I will drop everywhere to follow Kaylee and Blanka in the show notes. Thank you so much, Kaylee.
Thank you.